Welcome back to Central Valley Talk. Did you see that picture of a flood? Oh my goodness. We had a hurricane in California just last week. They're having a hurricane in Florida today. Maui in Hawaii had horrible, horrible fire. And you know who these things affect the most are animals. And our guest today is Naomi Tobias. She's a CEO of Central California Animal Disaster Team. That's a lot of words. Central California Animal Disaster Team.
Yes, and for abbreviation, we just call it CCAT.
CCAT, all right.
Yes.
I was watching on the news today, and the anchor he was in Florida, and he says, "Man, I saw animals that you've never seen before, just coming out of the, armadillos and different things that are native to Florida."
Right.
And I'm thinking of a pet. They always say dogs can find their way home, but once water covers their path, they can't always find their way, right?
No, they can't because they might not be able to swim through. And this year, starting in January, we had a lot of floods. It started with us with Merced, Planada area that flooded. And then, of course, in conjunction with that is we had a lot of the snow issues this year that really impacted our mountain communities where they were having trouble. People were having trouble coming out to get supplies for what they needed to live on, and also with the animals. And what we were doing is we were helping especially in Fresno, our sheriff's office. We coordinate with them to get pet supplies up to some of these people.
Here's one in get some alfalfa.
Right, and this person had horses, I believe, and some livestock, and we worked in coordination with their sheriff's posse to get some hay up there. They had to use their snowcat to get it in.
Oh my goodness! And alfalfa is very expensive.
Yes, it is.
By the way,
especially now. This is like around $35 a bale.
Yeah.
And we also helped a ranch owner in Mariposa with the same thing. But during the floods here, we were up in Merced at the Merced Fairgrounds and to provide emergency animal sheltering for, it was over almost 100 animals.
Wow, oh my goodness.
And primarily small companion animals, dogs, cats, and however there was livestock, horses, and those type of animals. Primarily here when there's disasters, it's those. We provide emergency animal sheltering if we're requested. We'll help with animal evacuations, search and rescue of lost animals, and also animal reunification. But it was a busy first quarter because we haven't seen this type of flooding in years.
I forgot about the snow. I mean, it's a few months later, I already forgot, but we had a lot of snow.
A lot of snow.
And then right away there was flooding.
There was flooding because of the rains down in the valley. And as mentioned, we started in Merced, and then we helped, a little bit in Madera, but that was kind of more snow issues. But in Tulare County, when they had the flooding around the Tule River, residents there had to evacuate, and so that one sheltering was provided by, of course, Red Cross, the county and Red Cross, but they were doing sheltering for like a month and a half, almost 2 months.
Wow, that's a long.
That was a long
period,
time. Yeah. Yes.
Well, so let's say we're in California. They say, "Oh, a hurricane's coming." We all go, "Oh yeah, sure, whatever." And so then it comes more and more and more. We don't plan for these, even when we know they're coming.
No, and I think a lot of it is maybe people think they're hearing the news is overreaction, but we don't know. We had that Hurricane Hillary that came through the valley, but it was very weakened. Yeah. But down in the southern part of the state, it did impact them with flooding. Here we got, I remember, some rain, a little bit, and some winds, but at the same time, again, it weakened as it moved further north. But people need to be prepared for anything. We don't know what's going to happen with this, whether it's climate change or whatever. We don't know what's happening, and they need to be prepared, have a plan on how they're going to evacuate themselves, their children, but also their animals. What we do is tell them to have a plan, to try to practice a plan, but also have an emergency animal kit. If they can, for all their animals. And that includes like having their records, their vaccination records, having a photo of them in case they get,
of your pet, yeah.
Yes, in case they get lost. But I can't emphasize strongly enough, get your pets microchipped, because if they're lost, we have a better chance to try to get them back sooner. But if you do lose a pet, also make sure you do check the animal shelters, because a lot of times if someone picks up a pet, they'll take it to the animal shelter. Right. You can bring them to our emergency shelters during the disasters.
The kit we're going to talk about?
Yes, that's the kit. And we have those. We provide those for free. Okay. If you come into any of the community events that we are participating in, the next one I believe is going to be Clovis Fest. You can pick one up.
Oh, so at Clovis Fest, you have a booth. Now, what's it say on here? It tells you what you should have in the kit?
Yes. It says, have photos of your pets, have their, veterinarian and medical records, and also, if you can, have some toys that they can be familiar with, right. And maybe a little blanket, but a lot of things, or like an extra water bowl, if you can get a collapsible one, because not everything is going to fit in there.
So if you're racing out of your home, this should be somewhere where you can grab this.
Grab and go.
Even if you can't grab your pet, you have to evacuate yourself. You've got information in that kit that will help you reunite with your pet.
Yes. And in Fresno, we have a system that we are now going to start using. We call it the Red Cap system that our county animal services put together. Mm-hmm. And if you go on our website, if during a disaster, you can click on the link, and it will take you to a survey that you can fill in what animals need to be evacuated, or it's a lot of times people will leave their animals behind, and if it's safe, especially if they're large animals, we call it shelter-in-place animal care. Mm-hmm. The owners can't get in. However, if it's safe for us to get in, and we work very closely with the sheriff's posse here, we will go out and take care of those animals.
You get out there. So
yes.
They have left my animals behind, and some people sometimes are elderly, and getting out is all they can do. But
yes.
And they worry so much about their animals. Now, would you say you're a rapid response agency?
Emergency response, that we call it.
Emergency response,
yes,
yeah.
Yes.
But you want to be a planning agency to make people plan in advance.
Yes, and we also work with the counties in terms of every county, any municipality is supposed to have an animal plan, to have, a plan on how we're going to evacuate and shelter animals. But it's very important for the animal owner, because it's their real responsibility for their pets. And we understand that disasters don't happen when you're home and
right.
you're ready to go.
When you're ready, yeah.
You can be at work or something like that, but as long as you have some type of plan in place, if you have a buddy or a neighbor or a family member that can go check on your pet and bring them out if they can, do that. But also, again, notify us that your animal's at home, and if we can, we'll go get it, or if it's safe, if it's better to leave them at home, we can make sure we can schedule our team to go out and make sure that it's taken care of.
Yeah, I didn't think about that till just now, but a lot of people live up in the hills, and they come down to the town to work, mm-hmm. and then the disaster happens, they're cut off from their animals.
Right. And, if you understand the evacuation warnings, if we can, the sheriff will put out an evacuation warning, and that gives them time to maybe get back, okay? Once an evacuation order is issued, that's when the road closures happen. That's when they can't get back into their homes. Now, we have a new, it's going to be called the Livestock Producer ID, where commercial producers of cattle and maybe some other livestock, depends on, they have to be commercial producer, can get a certification through the ag departments that they're allowed to go in and take care of the animals if it's safe.
They can maybe, when the roads are closed, they'll let them through.
If it's safe to go.
Safe, yeah.
Right. But they have to get certified and go through some fire safe training through the ag department.
Yeah. Now, Central California Animal Disaster Team, what area do you cover?
We cover 7 counties within the Central Valley. We work with Merced County, Mariposa, Madera, Fresno, Tulare, Kern, and we'll be starting to work with Kings now that they've had some flooding. We've never actually ever deployed and responded to Kings because they've never had anything that's big, which is good.
But Merced County was big for you guys.
Merced was very big for us this year.
What can people watching? What can they do? You want them to donate? You want them to sign up to be a volunteer?
You know what we need is really volunteers. No matter what, our volunteers, a lot of them move, a lot of them retire. It's hard work. If they can, yes, we like to have them volunteer with us. We provide, some extensive training, but definitely donations and cash donations. We ask for cash. Sometimes people go, well, where's that cash going? We have no, employees. It goes to our programs, and the programs are to get, and what it does, it helps us buy supplies and equipment to provide these services to these 7 counties. Yeah.
Pretty clean contribution.
Yes, it is.
When you're not paying people, you're paying for, the programs and the supplies. That's a big deal.
Right.
Now, we have your website up, ccadt.org. What will people find there?
They will find out, about us, of course, but how to volunteer, how to be prepared. It will, or donate, how to donate, and some other resources. We're, constantly updating our website. Sometimes it's maybe a little slower than what we like it to be. My bad. But at the same time, it's just that it's there to provide information on how to have a plan and how to be prepared.
If you have an animal, why not go there and check it out and be ready? You don't know. I mean, like Maui, they never thought they'd have a fire like that.
No, no. They, from my understanding, this is, what I've read. They were, they had tsunamis over there.
Yeah.
That's what they, primarily had. But a wildfire, no.
Right.
No, that was very, very tragic.
So we all need to plan.
Yes.
Now, also you have Facebook, CCADT1.
Right.
On Facebook, find that out. And what else do you want our viewers to know?
What I'd like you to know is just be prepared for anything. It could be a big disaster. It can be even a home fire. Just be prepared. Have an emergency go kit. Have your animals, please have them vaccinated. Have them microchipped.
Microchip, yeah.
And what we'll do is do the best we can to save all the family members.
And microchip, it doesn't even a big deal anymore. Almost everybody has it automatically. But, man, in cases like this, it really would help.
It would really help for animal reunification.
All right.
Yes.
Naomi Tobias, she's the CEO and the founder.
I am,
You
yes.
started this whole
yes.
thing. Thank you for doing this, by the way.
Thank you.
And
Thank
we'll
you.
be back with more Central Valley Talk right after this.